In the last class, we have seen a number of example NFAs and we have formalized the definition of non-deterministic finite state automata. And the agenda for today is to discuss the class of languages accepted by the family of NFAs. So what language is accepted by the class of non-deterministic finite state automata? And before we do it, just recollect the differences between an NFA and a DFA. And these are the differences. In case of a DFA, we have exactly one start state, and in an NFA, there can be one or more start states. And in a DFA, there is exactly one transition from a state for a given input symbol, and in an NFA, there may be zero more or more transitions. That means every DFA is an NFA because exactly one transition is allowed in NFA also. Similarly, exactly one transition is also allowed in NFA. Means DFA is a restricted kind of NFA. And the question now is, can we have an NFA for a language for which there is no DFA? If the language is having a DFA, the language is regular. Okay, the question is, can we have a non-deterministic finite state automata for a non-regular language? That is the question. The answer is no, and hence the class of languages accepted by NFA is regular, the same as the language accepted by the class of DFAs. So we have this theorem now. The theorem or the claim is that NFA and DFA are equivalent in power for accepting languages. Meaning, for every DFA, there is an NFA accepting the same language and vice versa. And how will you prove this claim? We will first prove a subclaim that for every DFA D, there exists an NFA N such that their languages are same. That is, given a DFA, there is an NFA for the same language. And the second subclaim is that for every NFA, there exists a DFA such that the languages are same. So these two subclaims say that for a given DFA, there exists an NFA, and for a given NFA, there exists a DFA, such that their languages are same. So the subclaims are sufficient to prove the claim. Okay, and now if the subclaims are proved, the claim is correct, and a corollary is that the language set is same, and the class of languages accepted by the family of NFA is regular. And which is a nice corollary of this claim. And now it remains us to prove the subclaims 1 and 2. First look at the subclaim 1, which is a very easy one or trivial one to prove. And we want to prove that for every DFA D, there exists an NFA N such that the languages of N and D are same. And which is easy because by definition we know that DFA is a restricted kind of NFA, and hence every DFA is an NFA, and hence be proved. Because no need to do anything, the given DFA itself is an NFA, so there exists an NFA. And proof of subclaim 2 is non-trivial because an NFA is not a DFA, because NFA may be using 0 transitions or 0 or more transitions, or there could be more than one start state in the given NFA. So as such, it is not a DFA. Then we need to prove how can you get a DFA such that the languages are same. We will be using a constructive method. A constructive proof means we are going to define an equivalent DFA, meaning accepting the same language. as that of the N of A from the N of A. So we are going to learn a constructive way of obtaining a DFA from a given N of A such that their languages are same. Okay, so let us try to construct it. First, try to understand how can we do it by using an example. So here is an NFA given, which is not a DFA because multiple start state and also multiple transitions and not transitions, all these cases are there. And our aim is to find how can we get a DFA from this NFA. And for that, let us try to see an example run on this NFA. Here is an example input given, and we know that there are two start states, so we have to do execution in parallel. So we are starting in S and T. First symbol is B. From S you can move into S and T, and from T you can move into the state V. Okay, these are the current state now. Now next symbol is B. This is how you progress. From S, S and T are reached. From T, V is reached. And from V, nothing is reached. And next symbol is A. Make a progress. From here you cannot move. From S, there is only one transition. From T, only one transition. And now the last symbol is B. You are making the corresponding move. So that's it. In this case, the trace is a forest, a set of two trees. And you know that in this tree, this path is lost at this point, and this at this point, and this path at this point, because no outgoing transition from the state V. Now the question is this input accepted? If you know there are two paths, this is the first path and this is the second path coming to this. One path is ending at S, another path is ending at T, and both the paths are ending at non-final states and hence rejected. Okay, and now here we are interested in finding a DFA for this. Suppose we need a DFA. Then what would be the run? We know that for a DFA, we need a unique start state first of all. And here there are two start states. Now the question is, can I combine these two into a single start state? It looks like from the first set of states on the symbol B, we are coming to a second set of states. From there, on a B, we are coming to a set of states. So each vertical line is or level is a set of state to which you reach from the previous state on a single input symbol. Okay, now for a DFA, all this has to be combined into a single state. So can we do it? That's what we are trying to see. Okay, can I compile like this? If I can do it, okay, then I know that between the successive states, that is this rectangular box as a state, transition is for only B. So I can do it like this. Okay, these are all B transitions, A transitions, and B transitions. So B, B, A, B. Okay, so what I was trying to do is, in the original run, there are two start states that anyway I cannot have. I am trying to look at a corresponding run in a DFA for BA, BAB. For that I need to combine these two. I did it. Then I observe that every time on a B I am moving into a number of states. So why don't I group all these into a single state? That's what I am trying to do. Then I observe that all these transitions are for the same symbol. So I say that from this rectangular state to this rectangular state, I am moving on a B. Similarly for other states as well. Okay, if that is the case, then maybe what are the names for these states? Suppose I am going to construct a DFA using this method. Then I need to name the first state. I can name it like this. This is ST, that is, the state is a subset of states from the given N of A. And here the subset is STV, here it is STV again, then SV and ST. Suppose I do it like this. Now an interesting question is, then why is it that from the subset of state ST I am moving into STV? For that I need to define a transition function. If you recall, capital delta is the transition function for N of A and small delta is the transition function for DFA. Now my question is this: how can I define the transition function small delta, which is the deterministic one for ST? That is, from the state ST as a single state, where will I go for the simple B? And that is defined as, where will I go for B from the state S in the N of A. This is the capital delta is the transition function for N of A. Capital delta of S comma B, meaning which are all the states into which I will go from S on a B. Okay, that is it. And what is it? From S on a B, I will reach into S and T. So this is giving me set ST. And this means which are all the states to which I can go from the state T when I process B. From the state T when I process B, I will reach only into the state V. Okay, that's it. It's V. And I am trying to define now this transition as, this is the deterministic transition from this combined state. This is nothing but the set of states to which I can reach from S in the N of A. This is represented as this. And the set of states to which I can reach from the state T. Take the union of these two. And this is STV. And exactly that is what I am getting here. Okay, now you see what will be the deterministic transition function from STV for B. Similarly, you can say that it is a state to which you can reach from S on a B union, states to which you can reach from T on B, and then the state to which you can reach from this state on B. And you can see that it is nothing but ST. From S on a B, you can reach into S and T in the N of A. From T on a B, you can only reach into V. And from this state on B, you cannot reach anywhere, so it's null set. It is ST union V union null set is STV. And that is why you get STV here. Now similarly from STV on A, where will you reach? Union of these three, and you are getting it as, this is on S. From S on an A, you are getting into S only, that is why S. From T on an A, you are getting into V. And from V, you cannot reach anywhere. And so it is SV, that is why SV is obtained. And next, from SV on a B, you can see that it is from S where you can go for B union. From this state where you can go for B as the next input symbol. So it is ST. From S, you already know that you are going into S and T union null set, which is ST, and that is the last state. So that's it. Okay, so, and what is the meaning? Finally, you reached into ST. If you recall, the meaning is that for the input BBAB, there exists a path ending in S, and there exists a path ending in T. And that is why in the required DFA, there exists a path ending in the combined state ST. That is the meaning. Okay, now this combined state is not a final state because both are non-final state in the N of A. So in the combined state, if there exists at least one final state, then the combined state is going to be a final state in the DFA. Okay, and to start with, where are you starting? If you recall, you are starting in this state, ST. And what is ST? ST is nothing but the set of start state in the N of A. Okay, before we formalize the definition of the DFA from the N of A, let us do one more execution in the given machine. Another input string which is BA. And for BA, you are starting in the required DFA, and in the required DFA, the start state is this subset of start state in the N of A. In the N of A, there are two start states, S and T, So ST is the start state of the DFA. Then you see where, what is the delta B of delta B of STB, which is this STB. You are going into STB. Okay, from ST, if you see, you can see that you are coming into STB. Then you see from STB where you can go on an A. You are coming into SB. Maybe you just verify. From S on an A, you are coming to S only. So S is there. And from T on an A, you are coming into V. So V is there. And from V, you cannot move anywhere. That is why just SV. And from there, you want to process B. So you are going into ST. Because from S, you can go into S and T. From B, nothing. So ST. And lastly, the last simple, which is A. From S, you can go into S only. And from T, you can go into V. So you are getting S and V. And that's it. So this is the start state of this run, and anyway, automaton, and finally you are coming into V. And which are the final state? Wherever V is coming, that is a final state. So actually these three are final states. So we are only interested in the last state, which is a final state. So you say that this string is accepted because you stopped in a final state. Okay, I hope you followed. Otherwise, maybe we can try to apply this to construct a DFA from this given machine. Okay, now how can we use our observation to obtain a DFA from this N of A? We know that the start state is this. Start state of the required DFA. In the required DFA, every state is going to be a subset of states in the original N of A. And what is the start state? Start state is the set of all start states in the N of A, which is S and T. That is ST is the start state. Then you say, where will you go for an A? For an A, you can see that you are coming into SP. We are just collecting it from the previous example. Okay. Then you say, where will you go from here on a B? On a B, you can say that, you can see that from S you can go to S and T, from T you can go to V, so you are coming to STV. So this state is now completely defined. Both the transitions A and B uniquely defined. Now you move on here and see where will you go for an A. A is taking you to SB. Why? Because from S you can come to S, and T you can go to V, and from V no transition. So it's correct. Now from STV, where will you go for a B? You can see that you are staying back because from S you can go into S and T, from T you can go into V, so all the states are coming, so you are staying back. So this is again completely defined. Then move down and see where will you move from this state on an A. You can say that, okay, from S you can come back to S, and V there is no transition, so you are going to a new state, that is the subset containing only S. Then see where will you go for a B. You can see that from SP you are going into ST because from S on a B you are going into S and T, from V no transition, so ST. So this is again completely defined. Come to this state and see where will you move on an A. A is coming back, no other state, so it's the self loop. For a B, you know that you will go into S and T, and that completes the construction of the DFA, and you can verify that this is a sound and complete construction, meaning if this DFA is accepting something. Oh, okay, before that we need to see which are the final state. If you recall, a state is final if it contains a final state from the N of A. Here it contains a final state, and this also contains a final state. So these are the final states. Okay. Now suppose that this DFA, this is a DFA you can easily observe, and if it accepts something, why is it that accepted? Because either you stopped here. If you stopped here, that means the last simple. Maybe it's because you came through this edge. That is one case. You stopped here means the last transition was this. In that case, the second last is a B, and in that case you will accept in this automata as well. And another possibility is you came through this edge and you finished. Okay, in that case, maybe that either the previous simple was this or this one. Okay, in that case also the previous was a B, so this is accepting it. Second last simple is a B. Or initially you went through this transition and you stopped. In that case, just B is accepted. Because of this initial state, that also is possible. Similarly, you can verify that this is again correct. So anyway, you can verify that this is a sound and complete construction. Meaning, if this DFA is accepting a string, this NFA is also accepting the same string. Completeness means if a string X is accepted by this NFA, that string will be accepted by this DFA as well. Okay, this is a sound and complete construction. Just recollect that the start state is the set of start state in this DFA, and a state is final if it contains a final state from the NFA. With that, let us formalize the construction of a DFA from a given NFA such that both these are having the same language. And here is it goes. Let n is equal to set capital Q, capital S, capital delta, capital F be an NFA over an alphabet set sigma. Then the equivalent DFA, meaning with the same language, capital A, is defined as capital Q prime, small s, small delta, and capital F prime. All are different than this. Then we need to say what is capital Q prime. You all know that Q prime, that is the set of states in the DFA, is the set of all subsets of the states in the NFA. Okay, the power set of the set of states in the NFA, all subsets. Maybe you doubt, then in this example, there are 3 states in the NFA. So in the power set, there are 8 states. Then why is it that only 4 are there? If you can try, you can see that all the other 4 states are non-reachable. States are there, but non-reachable. And that is why we have not obtained it when we constructed it in this way. In the definition, it is there, but many are going to be non-reachable. Okay. So the state is the set of all subsets of states in the NFA. Then what is the small s, which is the unique start state, which you know that, which is the set of start state in the given NFA. Now is the transition function, which is a non-trivial definition, at least to specify it mathematically. But it's not difficult to understand if you try to understand it using an example. Okay. So here I said, let A be an element of 2 power Q. What is an element of 2 power Q? Which is a state in the DFA. And what is it? It is a set of states in the NFA. For example, you consider this set of states, which is A. You take this as A. A is an element of 2 power Q. Take A as, for example, this STV. You know that this is a state in the NFA obtained. This is STV. Suppose A is this. Capital A means any of these states. Okay. I am taking it as STV. And we want to define delta of STV comma B. And what is it if you recall? Okay, it is capital delta SB. That means in the NFA from S, which are all the states that you can reach for a B, which is ST. Union, all the states that you can reach from T on a B, union, all the states that you can reach from this state on B. And that is what I am writing, right? It's union of these 3. That is union of each state Q in A. That is what I have written. Each state Q in A, delta of Q comma B. And you take the union of all that. Okay, it's mathematically writing this. That's it. For each state Q in A, you take delta of QB, union of all that. Okay, that's it. And now it remains us to define capital F prime, which is defined as, actually what is F prime? If you recall, the set of all states where V is an element. That means if there is a common state in this and a final state here, then it is a final state. Okay, that means if the set of states, that is the subset of states, contains a finite state, then it is a finite state. Okay, if the subset of states contains a finite state in the N of A, then it is a finite state in the D of A. How will you write it mathematically? If this intersection is empty, meaning what? Capital F is the set of finite state in the N of A. Capital A is the state of your DFA. Maybe you are looking at, say, you are looking at this state. Okay, the set of state is capital A is SV. Okay, that is capital A. Capital A is SV, and capital F is just singleton set set V, and that intersection is non-empty, means A is a finite state. If it is empty, means within A no finite state from the N of A. So A is not a finite state. That's it. And I think you followed. Otherwise, please watch it again. And with that, we have formalized the construction of a DFA from an N of A. And at least from the example that we tried, we got a sound and correct construction. And using the principle of mathematical induction, one can prove that this construction is both sound and complete. Meaning, if the constructed DFA is accepting a string, then definitely the N of A will accept it. That is soundness. Complete means if the N of A is accepting a string, definitely the DFA is going to accept it. Okay, you can prove it using the principle of mathematical induction. Use a similar technique that we did in the class, and if you are interested in, please do it as a homework exercise. With that, I am moving to the last slide where I am giving you an assignment. And the assignment is, given this N of A, convert it into an equivalent DFA using this construction. Okay, and with that we are finishing this lecture, and we show how one can obtain a deterministic finite state automaton from a given non-deterministic finite state automaton such that the DFA will accept the same language as the given N of A, which means the N of A represents exactly the class of regular languages. Thank you.